In every shinobi village, there is a reminder of their previous leaders and heroes to honor their memory and sacrifice they did to protect and defend their homes. In Konoha, there is a certain mountain that shows exactly that. That mountain was actually called the Hokage Mountain, and in it were carved the previous and current Hokages of the Leaf, and there it stood, the faces of the legendary shinobi. Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage, leader of the Senju clan, one of the founders of the Leaf Village, and the first user of the wood element. He was a caring and kind person, dedicated to serve his village. However, he ended up dying during the First Shinobi World War. His fight against Madara Uchiha had taken its toll and left him permanently weakened. He was at the time of his death a shell of his former self. But even now, about 80 years after its death, he's still remembered by everyone in the village. The second face belonged to Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage. He was Hashirama's younger brother, and became Hokage after his brother's death. He too was a very strong shinobi. In fact, each of the Hokage was hailed as the strongest shinobi of their time. Tobirama was known for his extremely high water affinity that allowed him to use high-rank water moves in places without water by condensing the air around him. He too lost his life fighting in the First Shinobi World War, but before his death he appointed Hiruzen Sarutobi, one of his students, as the third Hokage. The third face of the monument was Hiruzen Sarutobi of the Sarutobi clan, known for their monkey summoning and extreme skill in taijutsu. Hiruzen is currently around 55 years old. He's one of the most powerful shinobi in the village, but in his prime he was hailed as the god of shinobi, mostly because of his skill in ninjutsu that allowed him to combine different elements to his attacks. Hiruzen is the current leader of the Leaf Village. After his successor, the fourth Hokage, died. The last face on the monument was Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, hailed as the strongest of the Hokages. He was also the fastest shinobi to ever live in the elemental nations. Not even the Raikages with lightning armor could compete with him in speed. He was known for his use of the Flying Thunder God, an S-rank jutsu that allowed him to move at almost the speed of light. This jutsu was the reason that he was known as the Yellow Flash, due to his blonde hair. The only thing that people managed to see was the Yellow Flash, due to his speed as well. In the Leaf Village, he was a hero that sacrificed his life to kill the Kyuubi that attacked the village 5 years ago. And here, 5 years later, after the Kyuubi attack, is where our story truly begins, with the small boy that, despite being mistreated his whole life, will rise to become the legend he was born to be. Konoha, 5 years after the Kyuubi attack, October 10th. It was a warm night in the Leaf Village. The sun was just going down, it was starting to dim. Town lights were still coming up, and we could still see many people going around the village, doing their business. Unlike many other villages, even though Konoha was the most powerful village in the elemental nations, it didn't seem militaristic or cold. Many people, if they saw Konoha, would say that it wasn't a shinobi village. However, the mountain that surrounded the north part of the village was a dead giveaway. In it were carved the faces of the most powerful shinobi to ever live. It was October 10th. The village was covered in decorations and celebrating the defeat of the Kyuubi that attacked 5 years ago. Everyone in the village was happy. It was times of peace. The wars were long forgotten, but not the hate and pain of many that were lost. Although everyone seemed happy, one particular kid was very sad and lonely. Naruto Uzumaki was an orphan of the Kyuubi attack. He was about 3'11" and had spiky blonde hair, the bluest eyes anyone had ever seen, and in cheek he had 3 whisper marks and a birthmark. He was wearing a white shirt with short sleeves with an orange swirl on his back and black pants. Despite being what appeared to be a normal child, Naruto was hated and despised by most of the village. He was a painful reminder of the Kyuubi attack. He was expelled from the orphanage at the age of 4 and lived in the streets for about a month until the Hokage's Anbu found him and took him to the third. The third eventually became a grandfather figure to him. He gave Naruto a small apartment and allowance to live. But Naruto was constantly pursued by the villagers and constantly abused and beaten. The stores kicked him out, or sold him rotten merchandise, or charged twice the price. Even in the orphanage, he still received the same treatment. Growing up in this kind of life forced Naruto to mature quickly if he wanted to survive. Because of this treatment, Naruto became a highly intelligent kid that could rival Madara. He became cold and calculative to everyone except his closest people, that in his case, were simply the Hokage himself and the owners of a ramen stand. Only 3 people cared for Naruto, and wondered if he was eating or sleeping well. During his birthday, things were even worse, because the villagers and a few shinobi would gather up and hunt him down like an animal. And here is where we are. A scared kid was running through the streets of Konoha, trying his best to avoid the villagers and shinobi in hot pursuit. The villagers were shouting, "Die, demon! Get him! Finish what the fourth started!" Naruto wondered, what did he ever do to deserve such harsh treatment and a terrible life? "Stop, please, what did I ever do to any of you?" asked Naruto, running as fast as he could, his legs stirring to give away. "Oh please, you know very well what you did. You killed my brother and my father," shouted one of the villagers as he threw an empty bottle. "We will finish what the fourth started and kill the demon," the villager said as the others supported him. Naruto kept running until he looked behind to his pursuers and noticed that a couple of them appeared to be Chunin. Even though Naruto was a stamina freak, a 5-year-old couldn't compete with the speed of a Chunin. The Chunin quickly closed the distance between him and Naruto. He took out a kunai and did a horizontal slash. Naruto, seeing the kunai that would most likely kill him, he ducked. As he was ducking, he noticed that time appeared to be slowing down. After dodging the slash, he unwittingly channeled chakra to his legs, trying to jump over a fence to get away. The rest of the shinobi, seeing this, were actually surprised, but they couldn't let the demon get away. So all of them threw a couple of kunai at him while saying, "Shadow Shuriken Jutsu!" The kunai multiplied to 15, and were going fast at Naruto. Naruto, knowing that he couldn't dodge them all in midair, started observing them and calculating the best way to avoid them. It was then that it happened. His vision suddenly became clearer, and the incoming kunai seemed to almost stop. Just by looking at them, he could see where they would land. Reacting to his instincts, Naruto quickly caught one kunai with the sand and started deflecting all of them except one that managed to pass his defenses and hit his shoulder. He cried out in pain but managed to get over the fence into safety. He pulled the kunai out of his shoulder and noticed that the wound was already closing. "I wonder why I am the only person to heal this fast," he asked himself while walking through the village, hidden in the shadows to avoid the villagers. But he quickly noticed that his vision was different. It was black and white, and he could see people with a blue flame inside of them that surrounded their body. He tried to push his eyes to see better, and suddenly he passed out in the alleyway. The stress and exhaustion of running and taking a kunai to the shoulder was too much. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto awoke in what seemed to be a sewer. There were pipes in every wall, and the floor was filled with water with about 20 centimeters in height. He wandered through the endless corridors, wondering where he was, when all of a sudden he heard a soft male voice calling him. "Follow my voice," the strange voice said. Naruto didn't know him, but was drawn to his voice. After walking for a couple of minutes, Naruto found himself staring at a big iron door with vertical bars. The middle of the door had a small paper with the kanji for seal. He looked inside the cage, but it seemed empty. "Hello there, Naruto," said the voice. Naruto jumped back, surprised, and noticed a man leaning in the sewer wall outside of the cage. Naruto observed the man carefully. The man was about 6'2". He had spiky blonde hair with 2 bangs that framed his face and had blue eyes. He was wearing a full-body blue suit and the standard Jonin flat jacket. He was also wearing a white cape with red flames, and it had the kanji for 4th Hokage. 4th Hokage? Naruto asked. He knew very well what happened 5 years ago. He knew that the 4th died to kill the Kyuubi. He was a hero. "My name is Minato Namikaze, and I am the 4th Hokage," he said, looking at the kid in front of him and wondered how it happened so soon. Naruto seemed 5 at the most. How? You were supposed to be dead. Am I dead too? Naruto asked. No, you are not dead, but unfortunately, I am, Minato replied. But if you're dead, then where am I? And how do you know my name? Naruto wondered what the hell was going on. Naruto, I'm going to explain everything to you, so listen closely, okay? He asked, to which Naruto nodded. We are inside your mind. This is your mindscape. It's basically a representation of your mind in physical form. Understand? Naruto nodded. Now the truth is that I am your father. Naruto froze when he heard that. No, it can't be. Jiji told me that he didn't know who my parents were, Naruto thought. You're my father? How? Naruto asked. Well, about how, you'll find out when you're older, Minato said, chuckling. But it is true, I am your father. And I'm sorry, I wasn't here with you, but I had to stop the Kyuubi. But listen, I don't have much time. You probably wondered why this village treats you like a monster, to which Naruto slowly nodded. Well, there isn't any easy way to say this, but 5 years ago, when you were born, the Kyuubi attacked the village. The third said that I killed the Kyuubi, but that is impossible. The Kyuubi is a massive chakra without actually a physical body, so it can't die. The only way I had to stop the Kyuubi was to seal it inside of a newborn baby. I'm sorry to say, but I had to seal it into you, he said with a bit of shame, wondering how Naruto would react. What do you mean by sealed? I am the Kyuubi, he asked, not realizing what all the names the villagers called him by. No, you are neither a monster nor the Kyuubi. You are my son. And by sealed, I mean that the Kyuubi is trapped in your gut, behind these bars. Kyuubi, come forward, Minato explained. Suddenly, behind the bars of the empty cage, Naruto saw 2 glowing red eyes with black vertical slits. As the eyes approached the door, he noticed the form of a fox with tails, swinging wildly on its back. There it stood behind the doors, the most powerful being in the world. The most powerful of the 9 Biju, the Kyuubi, the 9-tailed demon fox. Naruto, seeing this, jumped back, scared to see the monster that attacked the village, and was responsible for so many deaths. No need to fear me, kid, the Kyuubi said, watching the poor kid. He knew too well what the villagers did to him. Naruto, Minato said, getting Naruto's attention. This is the Kyuubi, and he's not the demon everyone thinks he is. The attack 5 years ago was not his fault, Minato said, and started explaining what happened on that fateful night 5 years ago. From when Naruto was born to the masked man unleashing the Kyuubi and controlling it to attack the village, and then to Minato sealing the Kyuubi into him. Naruto was still frozen, absorbing what happened, everything his father was saying. Naruto didn't know what to say, it was just too much. Naruto, Minato continued. I'm sorry that I had to seal that Kyuubi in you. You had a harsh life until now, but I trust with this, it will be slightly better. Minato said and touched Naruto's stomach, effectively transferring the seal key to Naruto and opening the cage. What are you doing? Naruto asked, worried that his father opened the cage and let the Kyuubi out. Naruto, I told you that it wasn't the Kyuubi's fault that night. The Kyuubi will help you grow up, and he'll be at your side to help you in battle, and provide advice. The only thing I ask of you is when you're close to your death, that you release the Kyuubi. He doesn't deserve to be trapped in a cage and to be used as a weapon, Minato said. Will you really be my friend? Naruto asked, still a bit fearful of the fox. Of course, I will take care of you and make you strong so you can protect your home and friends, the Kyuubi replied. And what happened next surprised everyone in the mindscape. Naruto suddenly left his father's side and jumped into the paw of the Kyuubi. So soft and warm, he said, getting chuckles from both the Kyuubi and Minato. Now Naruto, there is more that I need to tell you. I don't know if you realized it, but doesn't your vision seem different? Minato asked. Actually, it's all black and white with you being blue and the Kyuubi's red, Naruto replied. Naruto, do you know who Madara Uchiha is? Minato asked, getting a disgusted growl from the Kyuubi, clearly showing no love to the Uchiha leader. Yeah, I know he was one of the founders of the Leaf, and was the leader of the Uchiha clan that is supposed to be one of the strongest in the world, Naruto said, surprising his father. Naruto, even though he was 5 years old, was very smart, and did like to read, but going into the library was impossible, as he was always expelled. Exactly, but what you and anyone don't know is that Madara was in fact my father. I never said anything to anyone because I decided to keep it a secret, he said. Naruto's eyes widened when he discovered that the legendary Madara Uchiha was his grandfather. I am the son of the 4th Hokage, Konoha's Yellow Flash, and the great Madara Uchiha is my grandfather. There's no way I'm not becoming Hokage, Naruto thought. Aha, with you being my father and Madara being my grandfather, there's no way I'm not becoming Hokage. Believe it, Naruto yelled, pumping his fist in the air and getting a smile from Minato. I have no doubt that you will, Naruto, Minato said, ruffling Naruto's hair. Now, you know that the Uchiha clan have a bloodline. More specifically, a dojutsu, right? Naruto nodded. This bloodline is called the Sharingan, and you activated its first level. Looking at the floor, Naruto looked down and saw his reflection in the water. His eyes were blood red with a black tomo in each eye. The Sharingan will evolve until it's fully matured, getting 3 tomos in each eye. Minato concluded he didn't want to go any further into the Mangekyo. His time was ending, and the Kyuubi could explain it if he ever unlocked it. God, I hope he never has to go through that, Minato thought. Oh, I knew I was awesome, Naruto said, happy about everything about his family and finding he had a bloodline. Now Naruto, pay attention to what I'm going to say, Minato started. I know that you always wanted a family, but you can't go to the Uchiha clan. Besides having a Kyuubi in you, which if they find out that you are an Uchiha, they'll use it for their own gain. I want you to be a good person, and not an arrogant, power-hungry like the Uchihas are. Never rely too much on the Sharingan. Remember, the Sharingan is only a tool. Having it doesn't make you all-powerful, okay? Minato asked, getting a nod. Okay, my time is ending. Everything I have, including my clan's techniques and weapons, are in the Namikaze compound, and only you can enter since there's a blood seal around it. Be careful so that no one finds out. I have many enemies, as did Madara. If you ever wish to reveal your true heritage, I ask you to reveal when you are strong enough to protect yourself and anyone you care about. There are people that would stop at nothing to kill you or your friends to get revenge on me, Minato said with a bit of regret. After all, during the Third Shinobi War, he was responsible for slaughtering Iwa's forces. Do you know how to use chakra to deactivate your eyes? He asked, getting a nod from Naruto. I'm fading. My chakra is almost over. Remember, Naruto, your mother and I love you very much, and I'm sorry that you had to live this life and grow up without love, Minato said, sad on how everything turned out. He asked the third, so the village saw Naruto as their hero, but he was too naive. Don't worry, Dad, I got to meet you after all. You did what you needed to protect your home, Naruto said, getting a smile from Minato. He then began to fade away until he was no longer standing in front of him. Naruto woke up in the alleyway, wondering if it was all a dream, until he heard a voice in his head. No, kid, it wasn't a dream. I'm here after all. You should deactivate your eyes for now and start training. I will help you in every way I can, and when you're old enough, I will train you to use my powers, the Kyuubi said. Thank you, at least I have you with me. I can use the company, Naruto replied, happy with how everything turned out. Who knew that this night would turn out to be his best birthday? You don't need to speak out loud, or other people will think you are crazy. Just think, and I will hear it. Also, now that the cage is open, you gain my second ability. You are able to sense people around you, and in time, with training, you'll be able to sense their feelings. You should tell the Hokage what happened. He will help you, but keep him in the dark about my help for now, the Kyuubi said, getting a nod from Naruto as he got up. He deactivated his Sharingan and started to make his way to the Hokage Tower. 15 minutes later, Hokage Tower. Naruto made his way into the Hokage office after arguing with the secretary and threatening her that he would tell Hokage that she called him a demon. The reason Naruto never found out about the Kyuubi is that apparently the Hokage placed an S-rank law that prohibited anyone from telling him that he had the Kyuubi inside of him, and anyone who broke it was subjected to immediate execution. "Old man," Naruto said, earning a smile from the old Hokage, happy to see Naruto and getting a break from the Hokage's #1 enemy, paperwork. "Naruto, how are you? Do you need anything?" the Hokage asked. Even though the Hokage wasn't actually related to Naruto, he has grown quite close to him in the last couple of years, treating him like a grandson. "I wanted to ask you if you could tell me who my parents are," Naruto asked, messing up with the Hokage a bit before he could tell him what happened. "I wonder how he'll react," he thought. "I already told you, Naruto. I'm sorry, but I don't know who your parents are. All I know is that they are heroes that died fighting the Kyuubi," the Hokage replied. He couldn't tell Naruto who his parents are because he was too young. "Old man, before I tell you what I came here for, can you tell your Anbu to leave? I only want to tell you this," Naruto said, getting a surprised face from the Hokage. "How do you know that there are Anbu in the room?" he asked Naruto, which Naruto replied saying, "I can sense them above the ceiling," Naruto replied. "Very well," the Hokage said. With a flick of a hand, he signaled his 4 Anbu bodyguards to leave the room. "Now, Naruto, what do you want to tell me?" he asked. "Old man, are you sure you sent them all away? I can still sense another person there," Naruto said, pointing behind the bookcase. Once Naruto said that the 4th Anbu quickly returned and dashed towards the intruder and quickly immobilizing it. The intruder had normal Anbu gear, black pants and steel plate in the chest for protection, but his mask was completely white, with the kanji for root. "Damn that Danzo, sticking his nose where it shouldn't be," Hokage thought. "Naruto, you are indeed a skilled censor. You actually caught an intruder that was in here," the Hokage said. "Oh, I knew that was awesome," Naruto replied, getting a chuckle from the old Hokage. After the room was empty, Naruto approached the pictures of the previous Hokages, and stopping in front of the picture of the 4th, turning to the Hokage, he said, "Anything you want to tell me?" The Hokage paled when Naruto asked him. How did you find out?" Hokage asked, wondering how Naruto found out. Very few people knew that Minato was his father. Now that I think about it, I can almost be his twin. I wonder how anyone never noticed, Naruto said, and started explaining everything that happened, leaving the Kyuubi helping him, he being Madara's grandson, and him having the Sharingan. Minato really was a genius. To think, even dead, he gives me a headache, Hokage thought. "Now that you know, what are you going to do? You know you can't tell anyone," Hokage asked. "I'm going to train to become strong like my father. And then I'm going to take that hat of yours," Naruto replied, getting a chuckle from the old man, to which he said, "I have no doubt you will."